Hi everyone, you've been bending over backward for people who don't even notice the effort, haven't you? Always the one checking in, always the one making sure everyone else is okay, even when you're hanging by a thread. It's time someone told you you matter too, and you can't keep treating yourself like a background character in your own life. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. You've got dreams, goals, emotions, and needs that deserve your own attention just as much as anyone else's. Think about it. If your phone battery's at 5%, what do? You plug it in. You don't yell at it. You don't push it to keep going without a charge. But somehow, when you're running on empty, you expect to just keep pushing. No rest, no recharge, no boundaries. That's not strength. That's burnout in the making. You've been taught to believe that selflessness is the highest form of love. But here's a truth that might sting a little. Giving everything to everyone else while leaving yourself behind is not noble. It's a slow disappearance. And you don't have to disappear to be loved. Start doing the things that refill you. Take yourself out for coffee without waiting for an invite. Say no to draining conversations. Say yes to a day off just because your body needs stillness. You don't need a breakdown to earn rest. You don't need permission to care for your own soul. If someone calls you changed because you started protecting your time, smile. That's growth, not guilt. Let's be clear. The people who truly love you will respect your decision to take care of yourself. The ones who only loved your availability might fall off, and that's okay. Sometimes peace costs relationships. Pay the price. Think of how much more powerful, more present, more fulfilled you'd be if you gave just half the energy you give to others back to yourself. Imagine what could bloom if you watered your own soil. This is your reminder. You are not a sidekick. You're the main character. And the plot? It gets better the moment you decide to prioritize the one person you've been ignoring for far too long, you. There comes a moment when you have to ask yourself a simple but life-altering question. Who am I living for? Is it for the approval of others, for the applause, for fitting into boxes that were never meant for you? Or are you finally ready to live for something deeper, something real, your purpose? Too many people wake up every day wearing masks, bending their light, shrinking their truth just to make others comfortable. That's not living. That's performing. And darling, you weren't born to be an actor in someone else's story. When you shift your energy from pleasing people to pleasing your purpose, you take your power back. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop running after validation like a lost child and realize the only permission you ever needed was your own. Imagine waking up and doing things because they mean something to you, not because they'll look good online or make someone else approve of you. That's freedom. Maybe you've always been the go-to person, the dependable one, the peacekeeper. But peacekeeping often means quieting your own needs. You've been trading your calling for comfort zones and wondering why you feel stuck. Comfort never built greatness. Purpose does. When you say, I can't do this anymore because it doesn't feed my soul, that's not quitting, that's realigning. Ever notice how heavy it feels to keep up with everyone else's expectations? Now compare that to the lightness that comes when you're working on something you believe in, something that sets your heart on fire. That's the difference between pressure and passion. One drains you, the other drives you. Shift your energy to what feeds your spirit. Maybe it's starting that business, going back to school, setting boundaries, writing that book. Whatever it is, stop waiting for a sign. You're the sign. Purpose won't scream at you. It'll tap gently, waiting for you to listen. Not everyone will understand. Some will fall away. Let them. You weren't meant to carry everyone with you. This journey, it's yours. And the more you choose purpose over people-pleasing, the more the right people, opportunities, and peace will find you because you're finally in alignment. We live in a world that never stops talking. Opinions flying at you from every direction. What you should do, how you should look, where you should be by now. Everyone's an expert on your life but hasn't walked a second in your shoes. And in all that noise, you forget to listen to the most important voice of all, your own. That inner voice, it's quiet, but it's never wrong. It's the one that nudges you when you're around the wrong people. It's the one that whispers when something doesn't feel right, even when it looks perfect on paper. But here's the problem. Most people are so busy keeping up scrolling through highlights of other people's lives, trying to fit in, trying not to fall behind. They silence their own wisdom. You've got to shut out the world sometimes. Not forever, not in anger, just long enough to hear yourself again. Turn the volume down on other people's expectations and turn the volume up on your intuition, because that's where clarity lives. Not in a podcast, not in someone's opinion, not even in a motivational speech, but in you. Let's say you're offered a job that looks amazing on paper, great salary, big title, but something inside you hesitates, that little feeling in your gut. That's your internal compass. It doesn't always speak with logic, but it speaks with truth. You don't have to justify it. You just have to trust it. Same goes for relationships, friendships, paths you feel pressured to take. If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive, period. And don't worry about missing out. The only thing you'll ever really miss out on is yourself if you don't pause and reconnect. This world will always be loud. People will always have something to say. But when you choose to get still, even for a few minutes each day, you begin to hear your real desires, your real limits, your real joy. That's where the gold is. Make silence your strategy. Make listening to yourself your habit. Because when you do, the path becomes clearer, the choices become easier, and the noise, it just becomes background music. Let's get one thing straight. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors, and you get to decide who walks through. You've spent so much of your life being available, reachable, helpful, sometimes to the point where you forget you're allowed to say not right now, or even better, no. Not every invitation is meant to be accepted. Not every call needs answering, and not every crisis is yours to solve. People will push as far as you let them. If you always say yes, they'll assume you have no limits. And when you finally draw the line, some will act surprised, even offended. That's not your fault. That's their comfort being challenged. You're not here to live at the mercy of other people's needs. You're here to protect your time, your energy, your peace. Because let's be honest, not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of you. Think of your life like a phone battery. You wouldn't let everyone plug in without checking the percentage, right? But emotionally, that's what most people do. Constantly pouring, constantly giving, running on fumes until resentment replaces kindness and exhaustion replaces joy. Setting boundaries isn't mean. What's mean is expecting yourself to keep giving when you're running on empty. And no, you don't owe long explanations. I'm not available for that as a full sentence. That doesn't work for me as powerful. Silence. That's a boundary too. The right people won't be upset by your limits. They'll respect them. The wrong ones, well, they'll show themselves. Let them. You have the right to protect your peace like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Whether it's not answering calls after 8 p.m., choosing rest over obligations, or distancing yourself from people who drain you, every act of boundary setting is an act of self-love. It's you saying, I matter too. And the beauty is once you start setting boundaries, you don't just feel stronger, you actually become stronger, more confident, more clear. You'll stop explaining your worth and start embodying it. That's when life starts aligning, not by chance, but by choice. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. So Allow peace, allow respect, allow yourself to be your own priority unapologetically. Growth doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet, painfully quiet. It's you, behind closed doors, learning hard lessons, unlearning old habits, healing from things no one even knows you went through, and that's okay. You don't have to broadcast your progress for it to be real. Not everything sacred needs an audience. In fact, the most powerful transformations often happen in silence. While everyone else is chasing visibility, you can choose depth. While they're shouting for attention, you're doing the real work. Building, evolving, glowing from the inside out. Because growth isn't a performance, it's a process. And if you're doing it right, it's personal. There's a difference between growing and showing. Some people want the applause before they've done the work, but not you. You're in the shadows, watering your roots, and when the time is right, you bloom, loud and undeniable. That's how it works. Quiet seasons don't mean you're lost. They mean you're preparing. So don't rush your way out of solitude. Embrace it. That's where you find your power. You don't have to post every move. You don't have to prove every win. Let people wonder. Let them guess. Let them think you've disappeared while you're silently building a life that reflects the version of you they've never met. Take the example of a seed. You plant it in darkness. It's buried, invisible. But every day it pushes a little, grows a little, breaks a little, until one day it rises through the surface, strong and ready. That's what quiet growth looks like. And when it's time to shine, don't hold back. Shine without shrinking. Shine without permission. Shine because you earned it. And when people say you've changed, say thank you. Because you didn't go through everything you went through just to stay the same. You did the work. You took the hits. You kept going. That's what matters, not the noise, not the opinions, not the likes. Your glow up isn't for their validation. It's for your liberation. Grow quietly, shine loudly, because when your energy shifts, your light won't need an introduction. It'll speak for itself. You have to let go of the idea that everyone will understand your path. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a short distance, not the whole journey, and that's okay. Growth has a cost, and sometimes that cost is people. You're not being cold, you're not being harsh, you're evolving. And with evolution comes separation, not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself. The truth is, not everyone can go where you're going. Some people are rooted in old versions of you, the you who played small, who tolerated disrespect, who said yes to everything just to be liked. But that version of you is gone. You've grown out of it. And when you start acting from your healed place, your powerful place, some people will get uncomfortable. That's not your burden to carry. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them question. Let them go. You see, loyalty is beautiful, but not when it chains you to dysfunction. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your future just because you shared a past. If a connection starts to feel more like a cage than a home, it's time to reassess. Ask yourself, is this person pushing me forward or pulling me back? Are they clapping when I win, or are they quiet when I rise? You deserve people who cheer for your growth, not shrink from it. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is create distance. You can love someone and still not let them drain you. You can forgive someone and still not allow them back into your space. Healing doesn't mean reconnecting. Sometimes healing means finally walking away with peace in your heart and no guilt in your step. Think about how much of your energy you've spent holding on to people just to avoid being misunderstood. You explain yourself, you defend your choices, you try to make them see. But maybe the point isn't to convince them. Maybe the point is to free yourself. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. Their confusion doesn't cancel your growth. Their silence doesn't shrink your shine. Some people are chapters, not the whole book. Their role was never meant to last forever, and the sooner you stop forcing expired connections to stay alive, the sooner you make space for people who are aligned with who you're becoming, not who you used to be. You weren't meant to stay the same. So don't apologize for changing. Don't apologize for evolving, for outgrowing patterns, environments, and even people. You have a right to rise. And you don't need everyone to understand your journey to keep walking it. The people who truly love you, they'll adjust. They'll grow with you, not guilt you. They'll rise beside you, not resent you. But the ones who fall away, that's not rejection. That's redirection toward better, toward healthier, toward wholeness. So keep going, keep becoming, keep shedding what no longer fits. You're not losing people. You're discovering who's meant to stay. You're not breaking bonds, you're building boundaries. And in doing that, you're not alone. You're just finally aligned. Let them go. Let them wonder. Let them miss the version of you who was always available, always agreeable, always small. That version is gone, and the one standing in their place, stronger, sharper, wiser, exactly where they're supposed to be.